panel. Here we go. So what are your initial thoughts, right? Who won, who lost? I said this earlier. Who needs to pack it up and go home?
Yeah, well, I've got a lot of thoughts here, Colton. First of all, the winners, of course, the person who's leading the pack, who wasn't on stage again, former president and recipient of those multiple criminal indictments, Donald Trump. Except for the opening question, the candidates once again pretty much ignored him almost entirely. And that means he was left unscathed, right? Ambassador Nikki Haley, she was a winner. She had a really good night. I talked to a number of reasonable voters, real people, who could actually see themselves voting for Haley for president. But of course, Trump is in her way. And Governor Chris Christie, he seemed pretty presidential up there to me. The losers, South Carolina Senator Tim Scott. It is time to leave the stage, sir. And could businessman Vivek Ramaswamy be any more unlikable? Well, improved but still poor. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis still up there, but not leaving a memorable mark.
Yeah, and we should note he's still sort of second in comparison in the polls under Trump here. However, by a large margin, the DeSantis campaign, it has struggled to take off as many expected that it would. So give us a little more about his performance last night. Is there anything that this guy can do to catch up here?
You know, Colton, I keep hearing from people who have met him, and I haven't had the opportunity to, that in person, in real life, he's engaging and bright and interesting, and then he gets up on that stage or he engages at campaign events, and he's like a stump of wood. DeSantis, he had some moments to appear presidential. You might disagree with what he said, but, you know, he used Florida money, taxpayer money, to get U.S. residents from Israel home, and he's been talking about squashing these pro-Palestinian groups on Florida campuses. Again, you might disagree with him, but that would have been an opportunity for him to appear presidential, yet he didn't. And again, like Haley and everybody else up there, his biggest obstacle to the nomination is Trump, and he has got to peel voters away from Trump to move forward, yet he has yet to figure out a way how to do that.
Yeah, you keep mentioning Haley as well. I want to point out something here. Abortion clearly a big factor in Tuesday night's GOP losses. Ohio enshrining abortion rights there. I think that they had a 56, maybe even a little more than that, yes vote there in the state. Nikki Haley had an interesting answer acknowledging the divide on the issue, and actually it caused, I think, a lot of viewers to pause here. She asked all of us not to judge each other based on which side we fall on. So with that in mind, how do you think conservative primary voters are going to respond to a Republican leaving the door open for abortions to still take place?
Okay, so I think it depends on what type of conservative Republican you are. If you are a Republican, a conservative who believes that abortion is wrong under every single circumstance, then Nikki Haley is not going to get your vote. But if you're a Republican who wants smaller government, or a practical conservative who understands that 60% of the nation supports some sort of access to abortion, then you may be giving Haley a second look today. Look, Republicans, as you know, Colton, have lost a number of state elections on Tuesday due to their stance on restricting abortion. Haley may have a way forward reflecting where many Americans actually are. But can she gather enough Republican support to finish strong in Iowa or New Hampshire, which, by the way, starts voting in just 2 months? She could actually change the race. So I guess we'll have to stay tuned and see.
Yeah, we'll see what happens as the polls continue to come out over the next few weeks and what happens in the news cycle as well. Sue, I know you've been here all night, all morning. We appreciate you working overtime for us and bringing us everything that we need to know here.
You're welcome.
And, of course, you can be sure to catch our Sue O'Connell and Corey Smith every Sunday morning for our new political show. It's called At Issue. It airs at 11:30. That's immediately following Meet the Press right here on NBC 10 Boston.